Check that audio. Alright, we're back. This is Think Talk. Tonight we're continuing our horror stories, real life horror story situations around the US. Yesterday we ended with a couple chilling stories found around Massachusetts. It was a lot of fun, so let's do it again. Here we are in ChatGPT. Go back to one of our older prompts here. I've gone through a lot up to this point. Boom, boom, boom. We'll take our prompt that we used previously. We'll start a new one. So here we're looking at, we're wanting a table view, 5 creepy tales based on true life stories from not North Carolina this time. If you're wanting some North Carolina folklore, true stories, you can check out my YouTube channel. Search for North Carolina specific. Tonight we're going to look at Tennessee. And I know one for sure that's going to pop up. I'm interested in seeing the other ones, but one for sure I know is going to make this list. Create a table of 5. Let's revise this a little bit. 5 real life. Make this simple for it. Instead of creepy, I don't think creepy picks up very well in the YouTube algorithm. Let's do scary stories. From Tennessee. Create a column where the story originated for our reference, and a column for the tale. What we're going to do, similar to last stream, we're going to take these 5 stories, review them, read over them, pick one that interests us the most. Then we're going to do a deeper dive on it, see if we can get some of our questions answered that come up. So let's see what the GPT says for us here. Alright, the formatting's a little bit different, that's alright. So number 1, right off the bat, I called it, actually, I didn't call it. I knew the Bell Witch haunting was going to be in this one. And I knew that because I spent some time close to Adams, Tennessee, living in Adams. Nashville is not too far away. It's right down the interstate from Adams, Tennessee. And you see the exit sign every time, and every time I see it, I don't know if it's the same for everyone, but I can't help but think of the Bell Witch haunting. So this one will be interesting to read. I don't feel like there's enough details here for us to get a good grasp of each one to see what story we want to focus our attention on tonight. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm not going to reprimand or scold GPT. We're going to say try again. This time add more details to each story. That little table at the top's fine. I want to get a little bit more information here. Alright, that looks a little bit better. Check that off our to-do list. Response and refine, looking good. All right. Let's take a look at the 5 stories, 5 real life stories, see what they got for us. So we got a good representation here in Tennessee. So if you're not familiar, let's take a look. Tennessee map. Here you go. All right, here's a good representation or a good map view of Tennessee. So we have Adams, Knoxville, Memphis, Chattanooga, and Nashville. So if we're looking at the map here, we're all over the place in Tennessee. So big one, capital Nashville. Now if you go up this interstate here, 24, leading into Kentucky, Adams is about right here where my cursor is. So not too far away from the Tennessee-Kentucky border, we have Adams. So Nashville, Adams, Memphis, southwest corner. We have Knoxville on the other side of the state, as well as Chattanooga representing another corner here. So Chattanooga in the corner. Only places we're missing here are our little towns here in the top left corner of the state and the far east. So a good mix of state representation here. Let's take a look. So number 1 right off the bat, the Adams, Tennessee story, the Bell Witch haunting. Let's go through these together. So originating in Adams, Tennessee, this chilling tale revolves around the Bell family. From 1817 to 1821, they experienced a series of terrifying encounters with the malevolent entity known as the Bell Witch. The haunting included unexplained noises, physical assaults, and eerie messages from the unseen presence. It became so famous that even General Andrew Jackson, the future U.S. president, visited the Bell home to witness the paranormal activity. Okay. Let's take a look at the second one. The Ghosts of Ramsey House. Located in Knoxville, Tennessee, the Ramsey House is a historic landmark that dates back to 1797. The story goes that the spirits of the Ramsey family still inhabit the house. Visitors have reported seeing apparitions of family members, hearing disembodied voices, and witnessing furniture moving on its own. The ghostly encounters often leave visitors with a sense of unease and a belief that the Ramsey house is haunted by its former residents. Okay. So similar situations here between the first two. Take a look at Memphis. The haunting of Ernestine and Hazel's. Situated in Memphis, Tennessee, Ernestine and Hazel's is a popular bar and music venue that was once a brothel and mortuary. It's believed to be haunted by the spirits of the past. Patrons and employees have reported a range of paranormal experiences, including flickering lights, objects moving on their own, and encounters with apparitions. The most famous ghost is a former prostitute named Mary, who is said to roam the premises. I gotta tell you, if my workplace was haunted and it is known that this sort of thing happens, I couldn't do it. I could not do it. Could you imagine? You're just hanging out at work one day doing your thing, whatever it is that you do, and all of a sudden like your water cup moves or some papers ruffle and can't do it, chat. Couldn't happen. I would have to find another job ASAP. You talk about bringing your work home with you. Imagine bringing something paranormal home with you. It's over. Makings of a bad horror movie right there. Let's move on. Chattanooga, the Curse of Ruby Falls. I've been here too. Emerging from Chattanooga, Tennessee, this tale revolves around the famous Ruby Falls, an underground waterfall located within Lookout Mountain. According to the legend, a Native American chief placed a curse on the area after his tribe was displaced. Visitors to Ruby Falls have reported strange occurrences, such as hearing whispers, feeling a sense of dread, and witnessing shadowy figures. The curse is believed to have imbued the site with an otherworldly energy. I remember visiting Ruby Falls once, and it was a pretty nice place. I didn't get any of this. I'll tell you, if I have any sort of feeling of dread that come out of nowhere, you gotta listen to it. You don't just feel dread. Like, that's a pretty dialed up emotion, wouldn't you agree? And shadowy figures. So within Ruby Falls, you take these tours. It takes you in the mountain. It's dark. They have like dimly lit lights scattered throughout. At the end of the tour, or at the end of the trail, you see this big pretty waterfall. It's really nice. I didn't think anything of hauntings or anything, but I tell you, if I was in there by myself, this would be the first thing I think of. Every little noise, every little shift in the shadow, it would get me. I would be out of there quicker than I would be out of the job from Memphis. I couldn't do it. Let's take a look at Ruby Falls. Actually, let's hold off. We'll go through the list first, and then we'll do a little bit of examining from each one before we pick a story we want to deep dive here. So the last one, the Ryman Auditorium Ghosts. Situated in Nashville, Tennessee, the Ryman Auditorium is a renowned music venue with a storied past. Numerous musicians, staff, and visitors have claimed to encounter ghostly apparitions and experience unexplained phenomena. The most famous ghost is that of Thomas G. Ryman, the original owner of the auditorium, who is said to make appearances during performances. Other reported phenomena include phantom footsteps, disembodied laughter, and strange sounds echoing through the halls. These detailed, real-life, scary stories from Tennessee have captivated the imagination of locals and visitors, adding to the state's rich folklore and paranormal lore. I've got a good list to choose from tonight, chat. One thing about the Ryman Auditorium, I've been to a few concerts there. Again, the building's old, downtown Nashville. That's where I'm assuming, and not its original place. But downtown Nashville, big party scene, lots of people, bars all over the place. You don't think anything of hauntings there. My experiences have always been good. Never had any sort of off-putting feelings about the Ryman, as the locals call it. So if you're ever in Nashville, just call it the Ryman. Start from the top. Adams, Tennessee. Terrifying encounters with malevolent entities known as the Bell Witch. Noises, assaults, messages. Even the president came out to visit. Let's take a look at Adams, Tennessee. I know you're in here somewhere. Let's see if my Tennessee geography is... there we go. Adams. So there's not too much to it. As you can see, zoom out a little bit. Adams is a little blip off the interstate. We have the Bell Witch Cave. Oh, chat, for $19. You can visit the Bell Witch Cave. No. No, do you see this? There's no way. No. Let's look at the photos. Let's give it a chance. And there's bars. There are bars at the entrance. Okay. Pretty creepy. Lots of like little nooks and dark places, and I can see how people get freaked out here. What's this supposed to be? That's pretty. Nothing creepy about that. Another part of the cave. Okay. Historic Bellwitch Cave. Oh, river adventures. Add to your agenda when you're heading through Adams, Tennessee. Like, I'm looking at this chat and like I know it's solid. I know, but this is some of the grossest things you've ever seen. Like, it looks like a heaping pile of snot or something. I can't look at that anymore. Bellwitch Cave. The farm and cave is private property. I wonder what's going on with the farm. Okay, so there's plenty of lights, but if there weren't lights, no, you would not catch me anywhere near this. That's pretty nice. Trails. The local barber shop, I guess. I need more cave pictures. Yeah. A lot of the same. Pretty nice and scenic, I think. Doesn't say too much about the Bellwitch, though. Let's take a look at the Ramsey House. Knoxville, Tennessee. Ramsey House. Historic landmark. Aren't they all haunted? Like, all the historic landmarks have some sort of like catch to get people to visit, especially in downtown areas. Like, have you been to a city that didn't have a haunting tour of some sort? Spirits of the Ramsey House still inhabit. Apparitions. Feelings of unease. Alright, let's take a look. So we're leaving Adams. Let's take a look at Knoxville. I actually spent a little bit of time in Knoxville as well. What is it called? Ramsey House. Alright, for reference, let's keep that ping there. So for my college folks, UT Knoxville is over here, closer to downtown. Looks like we're outside the city. A couple major roads, nothing crazy. Let's zoom in. Lots of pictures on this one. Alright, so the Ramsey House. This gives me very, like, what is it, The Woman in Black with Daniel Radcliffe. It gives me those type of vibes where it would probably surprise me less that someone is watching you from one of these darkened windows. Like, doesn't this look like a face chat? I'm not losing it, am I? It looks like a round face, 2 eyes, and a mouth. Just, you can't help it. When you're looking at stuff like this, your mind just wants there to be something creepy right there. And I'm still looking at this little square right here. Can I zoom in? The more I look at it, the creepier it gets, chat. It looks like 2 eyes and a mouth right there. And something in front of it, like a cup of coffee or something. Unlimited working hours. 10 to 4, Wednesday through Saturday, last tour at 3 p.m. Part of the Civil War trails. So lots of history for you history buffs out there. The hanging like branches or whatever that is. Gives me the creeps. I thought could have swore from the corner of my eye that was like a rat or something just dangling off the, what is it? Whatever this is holding the, I don't even know what any of this is. Like it looks like a tree branch, and I couldn't tell you. It's creepy, is all I'm saying. Is this part of the Ramsey house? Site of the birthplace of J.G.M. Ramsey, AMMD, 1797, author of Annals of Tennessee. See this? This is a big no-no. We can't, like, all the things that are synonymous with like haunted houses, you know, the clock, right? The clock that makes noise, the big old-fashioned clock. We can't have that. See this? It's a big no-no, chat. Can you imagine pulling those, what is it, drapes, or what do you call it when it goes around the bed instead of the window? Anyway, you pull those for a little bit of privacy at night. You see some shadowy figure walk by. No, because what are you supposed to do in that situation? I couldn't imagine if it. Don't even know if it goes all the way around, but it's either that, someone walking by, you see the figure that's creeping you out, or something reaching up from the foot of the bed. Like, I can't think of a movie off the top of my head, but you know, they got something at the foot of the bed slowly creeping towards you. Like, this is a bad combination here. Some history stuff. Alright, what is this? Good gracious. You see these? What are these, mugs? This one looks like it's seen a ghost. Look at it. Are they holding something? Are these arms? Like, does something go in it? Someone should have taken a picture of whatever the card is in front. How are you, out of all the things here, why do these two things have faces on them? Is that a what is that? I need more details, chat. Looks like it's outside anyway. Like some sort of show and tell or yard sale or something. Yeah, this one gives me creepy vibes. I'm just going through the pictures. I am intrigued. Here it is. Yep. I can't do it. Chat, if you see one of these, wherever you stay, you just be on the lookout. Listen a little bit more intently that night. See if you hear something. Because I feel like this is like red flags. If we're looking for red flags, this is a red flag. Is someone getting married here? Like, who feels like, I mean, the picture's very nice, but what goes through your mind where you want to get married at an alleged haunted place where like terrible things have happened? Again, very nice picture, looks lovely. Another creepy view. Someone else got the heebie-jeebies and didn't even want to get out of the car to take the picture. Still in the car. Looks like something horrible happened. Their side view mirrors busted out. Why is there a door at the top of the second floor? I mean, chat, do you agree with me? Like, look at this window here. You look at it. Does this not look like a face? Either this part of the window here or this part of the window here. Even here, it looks like there's 3 faces right there looking out at me right now. Like they're looking at me from this house to my room where I am streaming right now, and it is giving me some very creepy vibes right now. I can't keep looking at that. Let's go through a few more pictures. All those tools, like I want to think they're for some sort of game, chat, but hammer, some sort of blunt, like knife looking objects. Super creepy. There goes that clock again. Some nice cars. Alright. The place gives me the... There we go. There we go. Come on, clear up. Could you imagine, Chad, you coming out at night and just doing a brief little drive-by? Can you even do a drive-by on this place? Like, just kind of like Christmas style, rolling through the neighborhood, looking at all the Christmas lights that are up. Just roll through past the Ramsey house and you see this, like, dark figures just hanging out with the lights leading you right into the place. It's creepy. Like, I just getting the chills thinking about it. Alright, let's go back. So that's the Ramsey house. Alright, let's take a look at Ernestine and Hazel's in Memphis, Tennessee. Bar, music venue, former brothel, and mortuary. So it served multiple purposes throughout its life. Haunted by spirits, patrons and employees reported lots of paranormal experiences. And then there's Mary, who still hangs out to this day. What is it? Ernestine and Hazel's. Alright, to the other side of the state we go, chat. Alright, so right in the city, here we go. Close to the river, on the other side is Arkansas. Let's get our bearings here. So we're right in the city, downtown, airport. Anything that sticks out here? Oh, the zoo. Fun fact, Memphis Zoo is one of, I think it's 3 U.S. zoos that have giant pandas. So if you're a fan of pandas, you're in the area, along with, the local barbecue scene, try out the zoo. Alright, here we go. Ernestine and Hazel's. Lots of stuff all around. I don't know about these photos. I don't think it's going to tell us much. Saving Ernestine. This sounds like it's had its fair share of ups and downs over the years. Basic. It's like a dive bar. I don't think we're gonna find much in the pictures here, but let's get a little bit more information. And hazels. Let's try background before we go to GPT. We can always ask GPT about this stuff. So dive bar, soul, jazz, blues, maybe even a pharmacy at one point. It looks like recently some bones have been found at Ernestine and Hazel's. There's even stories what it's like to work at the most haunted bar in America. It's a pretty bold statement right there, chat. Oh, this one's not really keeping my attention so far. You can always come back to it. The Curse of Ruby Falls. So this one's in Chattanooga. Underground waterfall located within Lookout Mountain. Native American chief placed a curse on the area after his tribe was displaced. Strange occurrences, hearing whispers, dread, shadowy figures. Alright, let's take a look. So we're leaving out of Memphis. So see if I can find it from here without relying on some extra support. There it is. Lookout Mountain. I think I Lookout Mountain on two sides of the state. Let's stay in Tennessee. Wow. This is what I remember, chat. Let's take a look. Look at that view. If I remember right, at the highest point where you're able to see this sort of view, you can get a glimpse of, I think it was like 5 states, depending on which direction you're looking. Like if you do a whole 360 view, you're able to see 5 or so states. Someone correct me if I'm completely off and it's more like 10 or something. Yep. So Lookout Mountain. Lots of historical stuff. Pretty falls. There's Ruby Falls. Lots of pretty views. Ways up the mountain, down the mountain. So maybe not Lookout Mountain. Let's do I gotta go back one. Ruby Falls. Yeah, so the walking tour, at the very end of it all, you see this really pretty waterfall. They had different colors there. It's really pretty. Elephant's foot. Oh, I see it. There you go. Lookout Mountain, Ruby Falls, different pictures. Nothing really, like again, if you take out the touristy parts, right? You take out the majority of these lights, you're by yourself. I can see super creepy. But the whole tourist scene there, you imagine on a given day you got a bunch of excited kids exploring, families, parents trying to corral their kids, that sort of thing. I was like, chat, what is that? And that's just the, oh, what is that? Like the panorama view. Like, that is one stretch limo. Yeah, this one isn't really getting to me. Chat, not seeing the... Might have to rely on GPT for this one. Tell me more about Ruby Falls and its haunting. Local legends, tales passed through generations, supernatural place, Native American chief, put a curse. Sorry, imbued the underground waterfall with an eerie energy and attracted spirits and paranormal phenomena. Overwhelming sense of unease and dread. Feelings of being watched or followed, as if an unseen presence is accompanying them throughout the tour. Eerie atmosphere combined with natural beauty adds to the allure and mystery of Ruby Falls. Yeah, it doesn't tell me too much. And the pictures don't really paint a very gloom or unease or dreadful situation there. So that's Ruby Falls. Alright, finally we got the Ryman Auditorium Ghosts in Nashville. Music venue, storied past. Thomas G. Ryman, the original owner, makes appearances during performances. I don't think we'll see much on this one either. But let's take a look. So, southeast part of the state. Going back to Nashville. The Ryman. There we go. So if you're not familiar, chat, capital, Nashville, Tennessee, downtown. It's a very, very, very popular tourist spot. So what we have here is Broadway down by the river. So lower Broadway or Lowbro. You have different areas within the downtown. But this is where all the bars are, all the music, the venues, places to eat, hang out, things to do, that sort of thing. For my football buffs, we have Nissan Stadium on the other side of the river. A short little walk across the bridge to get there. The John C. Thaler pedestrian bridge. I've never seen that name before. But the pedestrian bridge, you can get to either side. So after the game, head over to the town. Have you a good time. For my hockey buffs, we have Bridgestone Arena. Also where major performances usually take place. If you need something bigger, they normally perform at Nissan Stadium. But we have Bridgestone Arena. And then we have Ryman Auditorium. So Ryman Auditorium is our focus here. Let's take a look. I've been here a few times. Like I said, I've never felt any sort of unease or anything like that. The venue is definitely like church style. The way the seating is arranged. The main stage. They have tours here, like small group tours, takes you backstage around, get a better understanding of where you're at. So the pictures don't really do it justice. I'm not even sure. Like, I'm tempted to pick like 4 more out of this list that we've chosen, or that the GPT has chosen for us. Like, the only ones that really stick out are the Adams one and the Knoxville one. Yeah, and there's not too much going on here, and not really feeling this one much, chat. So that was the Ryman Auditorium in Nashville, Tennessee. That was our 5th one. So let's go ahead and pick one of these to do a deeper dive on. And then subsequently I'll gather content to add to the YouTube content creation. So oh man, deep dive. Our focus, I'm gonna say it's either the first 2, either the Bell Witch haunting in Adams or the ghost of the Ramsey house in Knoxville. One of those 2. They're very similar. Nah, my gut's saying Bell Witch. Let's do Bell Witch. All right, let's get the GPT to add some more detail for us, because this isn't enough. More about the Bell Witch in Adams. Oh, you got a good bit of information for me, GPT. This will be a good read. All right, let's see what we got. The Bell Witch is one of the most famous and enduring legends of paranormal activity in American folklore. The haunting took place in Adams, a small town in Robertson County, between 1817 and 1821. The story revolves around the Bell family, particularly John Bell and his daughter Betsy, who were tormented by a malevolent entity known as the Bell Witch. Here are more details about the Bell Witch and its haunting. Began in 1817 when strange phenomena started occurring on the Bell family farm. They experienced unexplained noises, including knocking sounds on the walls, scratching noises, and the sound of chains being dragged. These incidents escalated over time, with the entity becoming more malevolent and making its presence known. Whoo, Chad, I got the chills already. We're 2 paragraphs in. The Bell Witch reportedly communicated with the family through various means. It was said to have a raspy, disembodied voice and was able to mimic the voices of different people. It often targeted John Bell, addressing him by name and engaging in conversation. The entity displayed an extensive knowledge of the family's personal affairs, history, and future events, which further intensified the fear and unease among the family members. The Bell Witch demonstrated both mischievous and malicious behavior. It would pull hair, slap, and scratch family members, and even attack John Bell physically, leaving him bruised and battered. It also targeted Betsy Bell, allegedly tormenting her and interfering in her romantic relationship. News of the Bell Witch spread throughout the community, attracting curiosity and skepticism. Many visitors flocked to the Bell family farm to witness the paranormal phenomena themselves. Some were amazed by the encounters, while others were frightened by the witch's antics. One of the most well-known aspects of the Bell Witch haunting was the involvement of General Andrew Jackson. Intrigued by the reports, Jackson, along with a group of men, visited the Bell home to investigate. They experienced their own encounters with the witch, including hearing her voice and being physically attacked. It said that Jackson declared, "I'd rather fight the entire British army than to deal with the Bell Witch." The haunting came to an end in 1821 with the death of John Bell. The entity claimed responsibility for his demise, stating that it poisoned him. After his death, the Bell Witch allegedly disappeared, but not before making a final declaration that it would return in 7 years. While the entity did not reappear in the same manner, there have been claims of sporadic paranormal activity in the area since then. The Bell Witch haunting has become a prominent part of Tennessee folklore and has been the subject of numerous books, documentaries, and even a feature film. It remains a compelling and chilling tale that continues to captivate and intrigue those interested in the supernatural. Whew. Chad, there were a few spots while reading this that I just got the chills all over. I just like hearing some of what happened or allegedly happened. Just lots of unease reading this one. All right, let's go through. I had a few questions that came up. If you have anything to chat, shout it out in the chat. We can go through it together. All right, so it looks like the focus was around the father, John Bell, and Betsy was sort of second fiddle to John getting the torment. But it sounds like the entire family was affected. There were a couple movies that came to mind while I was reading this chat. One of them was Paranormal Activity first. I think I've seen that movie maybe 50 times. And when it first came out, it was very much different. I feel like pretty unique in the horror film, like the found footage, right? Where after I've seen it the first time, I would see it the second time and catch new details, and I would get freaked out just thinking about, all right, if I'm missing all these details in the movie, can you imagine how much I'm missing in real life? I could be haunted right now and not even realize it because I don't catch these details. So I think conservatively put it at 50 times. It was a good movie for me for a while there, and then they started making Paranormal Activity like 1895 or whatever. It's like they started going above and beyond what the first film really did to be successful. I think I stopped after maybe 3 or 4. But the first one, definitely classic. If you haven't seen it, recommend it. Especially if you like horror. Like my scary movie preference. Scare me without introducing guts or gore or bloodshed or disembodied, body parts, things like that. Just if you can scare me psychologically, get me thinking, let me have a hard time going to sleep because I'm focused on something that happened in a film, that's up my alley. So Paranormal Activity, definitely. The other one is that came to mind was Witch. So this one was a pretty polarizing film, I feel like. Witch movie. There you go, The Witch. If you haven't seen it, if you have, I was not scared. Like, it didn't grip me the first time I saw it. I had to watch it a second time for it to really have whatever ideas it was presenting stick with me. Like, this family gets banished from their community, they're out living their life, free to practice their ideals and their beliefs, and then we see it in the previews here. They think everything is great, and And then slowly but surely things start happening that freak me out. I don't have sound on, but yeah. So weird things started happening, and like it's one of those, if you don't pay attention, that you end up missing it sort of deals. And it took me a couple tries to really get into it, but I get similar vibes here. Just not an actual witch, but some, what do they call it, malevolent presence. Yeah, mischievous and malicious behavior. So it wasn't even like, it wasn't even like a physical person thing. There, I got a question on that. Let's ask the GPT before I rely on Google. So, was the Bell Witch? How can I phrase this? What? Let's say who? Who was the Bell Witch? Mystery, of course. Speculation, debate, spirit or supernatural being. So the main difference between the Witch movie and this one, we have this supernatural being. So we could call it like a cross between Paranormal Activity, where the incidents of the ghost slowly ramp up from like something being knocked over or a playful shadow or something to being possessed completely. And if I ruined the movie for you just now, Chad, I apologize in advance. It's still a good movie. Please go see it. So we have a cross between Paranormal Activity and the Witch situation here. Vengeful ghost, restless spirit with a grudge against the Bell family. See, I want to know what, like, I want to be able to pinpoint who the person was that we feel like is haunting everybody. And this family, what did John Bell do? And why was his family affected? You know? Because it wasn't until they said the haunting came to an end in 1821 when John Bell died. All right. And then I don't believe, like, it's far-fetched, right? But like, this is over the top for me. Like, did a reporter interview the ghost? Like, definitely over the top. Not necessary GPT. Like, come on now. Alright. During the haunting, Bell Witch claimed to be several different entities or spirits. It often referred to itself as Kate Batts, a neighbor of the Bell family, and claimed that John Bell had cheated her out of her land. However, historical records indicate that there was no evidence to support the existence of a Kate Batts in the area. Cheated her out of her land. I just, like, how much land would it have to be for you to haunt somebody? Like, a few acres, a few hundred, half the state. Like, we're talking about Adams, Tennessee here. It's not, there's not too much going on there. True nature and origin of the Bell Witch remain uncertain. Vengeful ghost, restless spirit with a grudge against the family. Manifestation of psychic energy or a poltergeist phenomenon caused by the psychic abilities of one of the family members, particularly Betsy Bell. Yeah, this is interesting, chat. So we have one theory that's saying Betsy Bell was behind all this. Betsy Bell was the Bell Witch. And you can imagine if Betsy Bell was responsible for this. Again, stretch theories, what have you. What did John do to his daughter? What did John do to his daughter to where she would want this sort of revenge situation to take place, right? I'm interested now. What happened to Betsy Bell after John Bell's death? Alright, not too much information on Betsy Bell after John Bell's death. Here's what we know that have been cataloged. Marriage. Betsy Bell married her school teacher. Okay. They settled in Robertson County, Tennessee, several children together. I imagine if we looked it up, chat, we would find like a Bell lineage still hanging out in Adams. Moved to Mississippi in the late 1830s. Betsy and Richard relocated to Mississippi, where they continued to raise their family. Settled in Mississippi. She lived there for the remainder of her life. Descendants numerous. Family continued to grow in Mississippi. So maybe not Bell, or maybe not Adams, Tennessee, but Mississippi. Sounds like. Public silence. After the Bell Witch haunting, Betsy Bell largely kept quiet about her experiences. She did not seek publicity or actively engage in discussing the events that had occurred in her youth. The Bell Witch legend and the haunting became more widely known in later years due to accounts from other family members and witnesses. While Betsy Bell's life may not have been directly impacted by the haunting after her father's death, the events of the Bell Witch haunting remained an integral part of her personal history. Her association with the Bell Witch legend has continued to attract interest and intrigue over the years, adding to the enduring mystery and fascination surrounding the haunting in Adams. It's got to be Betsy, right? It had to be Betsy. Like, her revenge, she evened the score. Her problem, whatever John did, was done. After his death, she said, okay, I can have peace now. Only thing that bothers me is she married her school teacher in 1824. What are we looking at? Like 200 years ago? Almost 200 years ago? So I guess times were different then. But aside from that, I just feel like it has to be Betsy and not some rando spirit land hungry neighbor Kate Batts. It would have been more interesting if instead of saying land, we said claim that John Bell had cheated on his wife with her. Or it flipped the script. Cheated on her with his wife or something along those lines, not of land. I don't like this theory here. Alright, let's go back to the story. So, Bell Witch mystery. I'm calling it. It's Betsy. Case closed. Closed the book on that one, chat. Bell Witch haunting confirmed to be the daughter due to unexplained reasons. Alright, so that was Tennessee, chat. Not bad at all. We hit the 1 hour mark on our work here. Those of you on YouTube, thank you for taking the time to join me. You'll find this live stream posted on my channel, as well as a bunch of other videos that we work on live here on Twitch. Every time I stream, we always look for ways to improve and build on the content. If you like what you've seen, please give me a like, follow, hang out with me on Twitch, YouTube Live, wherever I'm located. Come hang out, say hi. Thank you for joining. We'll talk soon.